My mother left me in the shadows for her stepkids, so I brought everything to light. When I was 11, my mom got remarried to a single dad with 2 young kids, and I went from being her whole world to barely existing in it. She started with small things like missing one of my games because her stepson had a cold, but within months, she was skipping my birthday dinner because her stepdaughter wanted to go to the mall. The pattern became crystal clear through dozens of incidents that still burn in my memory. She took us all to the mall one Saturday, and her stepkids spent 3 hours picking out toys. I stood there watching them load the cart with $300 worth of stuff while my mother denied my request for a $20 game. The worst part was how she'd gaslight me afterward like I was being dramatic or selfish for wanting basic attention from my own mother. She missed my 8th grade graduation because her stepdaughter had a dance recital, and when I got upset, she said I needed to understand that little kids have different needs. When I had the flu, she dropped off medicine at my door, but when her stepson had the sniffles, she took a week off work to nurse him back to health. Christmas was just a showcase of her favoritism, where the stepkids got elaborate personalized gifts, while I got a generic gift card shoved in an envelope with my name spelled wrong. Everything collapsed during my sophomore year of college when I got into a car accident on the highway. The paramedics said I was lucky because the other driver ran a red light going 60 and T-boned my passenger side, and even though nothing was broken, I was terrified and alone in the emergency room. I called my mom from the hospital bed with my hands still shaking, and she said she'd be right there, but 3 hours passed and she never showed up. I found out from her Instagram story that she was at her stepson's elementary school play, posting videos with captions about being a proud mama. When she finally arrived 5 hours after my initial call, she was actually angry that I'd made her miss the ending of the play. When the doctor mentioned I could have had internal bleeding that went undetected, she rolled her eyes and said he could have, but didn't. That means I came here for nothing. She kept checking her phone while I tried to tell her how scared I'd been when the car hit me. And that's when I realized I wasn't just second place to her anymore, and in fact, I didn't even exist. I spent the next few months documenting everything with a cold determination I'd never felt before. I saved every unanswered text from when I needed her, every screenshot of her social media posts about her perfect blended family, and every voicemail where she canceled on me for them. I realized she'd created 2 completely different narratives where she told her friends I was thriving and choosing distance while telling me the stepkids desperately needed her more. I edited everything into a video that showed the truth about her selective motherhood. When she announced her big family reunion to show off her perfect blended family to everyone, I saw my opportunity and confirmed I'd attend, which made her ecstatic because she could finally parade her successful college son around. She spent weeks telling everyone how proud she was of me and how close we'd always been despite the distance. The day of the reunion came, and guess what? I never bothered showing up. She kept checking her phone and sending me angry texts asking where I was. Extended family members started exchanging glances when she insisted I'd be there any minute for the 3rd time in an hour. Halfway through the party, I posted the video on Facebook and tagged everyone in attendance, including her husband and stepkids. I watched everything unfold through my cousin's live stream. My aunt gasped and covered her mouth when she saw the part about the car accident, and my uncle shook his head in disgust. Mom's husband's face went from confused to horrified as he watched her ignore my calls from the hospital. Wait, I thought you told me he hated his stepfamily and was avoiding us on purpose. Is this what you were doing the entire time? He asked my mother, but she was too shocked to say anything. The video ended with my hospital bracelet from the accident with the timestamp showing how long I waited alone, and my final message reading, "For 8 years, I was invisible to my mom, so today I'm returning the favor." My mom stood frozen in the middle of her ruined party as people quietly gathered their things and left without saying goodbye. Her husband moved out within 2 weeks and filed for primary custody after learning about years of lies. The stepkids finally understood why their big brother never came around and started questioning everything about her. She bombarded me with calls about ruining her life, but never once apologized for abandoning me. At the next family gathering, she sat alone while everyone avoided her and instead asked me how I was doing.